So now I'm going to go over some of the homework problems from Monday, Tuesday. I'm not going to go over as many of these as I did the degree in radian, just because it's still fairly fresh, and I did several examples on Monday, Tuesday, if you watch those videos. But I do want to go over a couple of them, and I do apologize for the spreadsheet not quite working the way we wanted it to. Once it turned green, it just stayed green, so that's why we had you just upload a picture of your work. So I do apologize about that. So law of sines and cosines. So the other day, I explained to you that the law of sines deals with two angles, two sides, and if you've got only one angle and you're dealing with three sides, then you would be dealing with law of cosines. So let's look at law of sines again. It says that sine of angle A over side A is equal to sine of angle B over side B is equal to sine of angle C over side C. And remember, side A is opposite angle A, side B is opposite angle B, and side C is opposite angle C. Remember that the reciprocal of this is also true. So if you flip those around, it's also true, okay? And then law of cosines, again, that's where you're dealing with three sides and one angle. You've got a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of a, and then b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine of b. And then finally, you've got c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of c. All right? So knowing this, let's look at a couple of the problems, and I'll go over them with you, okay? So first few problems asked you to use law of sines. And it should be apparent because here you're dealing with an angle at a side and an angle and a side. So we've got two angles, two sides. So in that case, we would always use law of sines. So I went ahead and labeled the triangle. I labeled the vertices A, B, C. Side A is opposite angle A. Side B is opposite angle B. Side C is opposite angle C. We're not going to really worry so much about the C part, just the A and B. Sine of A over side A is equal to sine of B over B. So that's where I got this from. Sine of x over 22 is equal to sine of 42 over 17. So we're going to cross multiply here, and we're going to say sine of x times 17 equals, I'll zoom out on that a little bit. Sine of x times 17 equals sine of 42 times 22, okay? And remember on these, we don't want to round until we absolutely have to. So I'm going to divide both sides by 17, and that's going to give me sine of x equals sine of 42 times 22 divided by 17. So if I use my calculator here, I'm going to say sine of 42 times 22, and then I'm going to divide that by 17. So sine of x equals 0.8659, 0.8659. And remember, to find an angle measurement, you have to do the inverse. You have to hit the second key and then sine, and then enter in the decimal. On Desmos, you can do that by hitting the FUNC tab or the FUNC button on the Desmos calculator, and it'll bring up the inverse trig functions. So if I do that, if I hit the second key and sine, and then enter 0.8659, my angle is going to be about 60 degrees. So it's going to be approximately 60 degrees. Okay? Let's look at our next example here. Here we're trying to find a side. Okay? So we've got this angle here and that side, this angle here and that side. So I can say sine of 88 over 44 equals... this is one where you're going to have to solve for the missing angle over here first, actually, guys. So that's a good example. If you're given two angles, you can easily find the third angle just because you know they all add up to 180. So I know that 35 plus 88 equals 123. And then if I take 180 minus 123, That's going to make that missing angle over there 57 degrees. So this is 57 degrees. All right, guys, so sine of 88 over 44 equals sine of 57 over x. And then again, you're just going to cross multiply here. Sine of 88 times x equals sine of 57 times 44. And then I can just divide both sides by sine of 88. And that'll get x by itself. And then, like I said, we're not going to round until the very end. So I can go ahead and do sine 57 times 44. And then divide that by sine of 88. And that tells me that side is 36.9 millimeters. There you go. All right, so there is law of sines.